Sync. Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast, episode 119, I think. We're 119.
119.
My name is Jeff.
What are the two?
119.
Yeah.
My name is Jeff. Joining me as always is Josh.
Yeah.
He hates his internet service provider.
They can suck a dick. I mean, all of them can suck a dick, but I mean the one I'm currently on.
This one in particular can suck Josh's dick.
Yeah.
Aggressively. Like
Progressively. I mean, we'll take a man or a woman.
I said aggressively. I did not say progressively. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Preferably, it's going to be water, though.
Yeah. Also joining me as always, that voice is Allan. Hi, Allan.
Hello. I have to rage about things today, but we'll get to that when it comes to my turn.
Yeah.
I'm in one of those moods.
Allan doesn't rage. Allan just cries a lot about things. And then screams about things. Anyways, let's talk about screaming at things. Josh, your internet service provider sucks.
Oh yeah. Let's jump into that fucking bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with the waste pit that is that.
The freaking Canadian internet service provider or Canadian internet service in general. Fucking, I would have to say it's at least better than a good chunk of the United States.
No, that's debatable. You know it.
You know what? In the lower, like, let's say if you the at least in the cities and closer areas to the cities, your internet is gonna be okay. And but the good like 30% of like the states, your internet is dial up. Like, it's not the best. And even then, if you say have slightly better internet, you're gonna be capped super severely. So
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so in all honesty, our
internet is better, but not bad. The best. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking, I think I ranted like a couple of weeks ago about how our internet, or not internet, but our cell phone data plans, they're so fucking garbage compared to like if you look at everywhere else around the world. And there's data showing that, yeah, we suck at cell phone data. Because it's like...
It's funny, it's almost...
Yeah, it's like there's like a fucking monopoly on this shit, huh? Yeah, like there's the total fucking monopoly on this shit.
There really isn't, though.
It's like...
It's more of, it's better than the States.
It's better than the States. It's not a monopoly. I actually had a full okay, so here's the thing about the idea of what a monopoly is. Monopoly is one owned by one company. While these companies might be working together to like solve prices and stuff like that, they are actually competing with each other. They're just, being open with each other.
Just that are just, sucking each other's dicks right now, constantly.
And quite aggressively too at sometimes. And I will freely admit that they can be quite pretentious assholes, but like this is by far not the worst thing. It's not even really a monopoly. It's just they're working together and they're not exactly,
being super sloth about actually providing the service or actually updating our fucking internet. Because we can have fucking Google Fiber right fucking now, but they want more money, so of course they're not going to fucking do it.
Okay. Counterpoint to that. You know how much that costs to install?
You know how that's actually fucking everywhere? They're just refusing to freaking update?
Here's the other thing I'm going to say about Google Fiber. Google Fiber tends to watch everything that you do. Do you really want Google doing more?
Do you want that?
They're gonna sell houses in 50 years. They're gonna fucking sell houses in 50 years. I wouldn't be surprised.
They're gonna have wiretaps built into the wall.
And then they're gonna be like, dude, we can have this chip in your head. And they're like,
what
do I need?
That's a thing, by the way. So there's this guy down in the States who came up with the way of creating a chip that you just get installed, and all you do is it's got your bank data and all that stuff on it, so you can just tap it against something, and you can use your bank card and your cell phone information in it.
Well, the thing is, that's the kind of a slippery slope, because I saw a news thing on Twitter of someone took a picture of a guy who had a what was it? One of those teller, our debit card machine things that we have in Canada. You can tap it and you can get your data that way, and you already paid for it because you tapped it. But this guy, he had a backpack with a fucking scanner in his hand, and he's tapping up against people's wallets, stealing their shit without them knowing.
Yep.
So
It's the reason why I don't use tap. But at the same time,
that's why I don't freaking have one. Because I'm like, holy shit, that's like the main reason. That's the main reason why I don't freaking have those cards on me in general.
Yeah.
See, I use tap all the time because it's just so convenient.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're fucking lazy.
No, that's not a lazy
humanity
problem.
in general is lazy.
That's called I just don't give a shit anymore.
Man, I can't wait for robots to come in and just show us how fucking lazy we truly are.
The robots are going to come, look at us, and go like, man, we could just take these fucks out.
No. They're going to be like, we can just sit back and live.
No.
They're just going to kill themselves, Oh, yeah, totally.
No. Even better, it's just going to be like, we're going to come across an alien race, and then we're going to just watch Warhammer happen. Speaking of Warhammer... Warhammer's in flames right now because some feminists decided that it was, misogynist?
Okay, so quick point of view. There's a group on Facebook called Feminist 40K. Okay, they believe that some of their actual points on their site are actually, I will say, acceptable, because they're like, we want female models, we want plastic female models, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have plastic female guardmen. I'd love to have like my Vestroians who have a female medic in their kit. Give me that. I would love that. They'd also like to see the Sisters of Battles being made into like proper plastic models, and I'm like, yes, do it. That'd be great. I would play Sisters of Battle at that point. I would love to play my nuns with guns. And then the next comment made me really angry. We'd also love to see female space marines, and I was like, the lore does not support this.
Isn't the Sisters of Battle already the female space marines?
They are not. They are actually straight up like they're just basically like chicks wearing power armor that aren't like augmented or changed or anything like that. Like, that's the thing in the lore, and that's the big thing for me, is these people are arguing from a point of just trying to be like fair, equal, all that fun stuff. And like, you know what? I don't mind like small things that aren't so bad, like, plastic female guardsmen, which would be phenomenal in my opinion. But at the same time, the 40K fan base, the vast majority of it, play it for the lore. Because this game is not, well, now it's being really balanced. Like the current codex that's top of the roster is the Guard Codex, which used to never be a thing without it being just an armored regiment. Now it's just top of the list in general, and I'm like, oh, hey, surprise! My army's like amazing now. But like the big thing is that I'm a lore buff. I love lore. I love sitting down and like reading about like the Black Templars or the Salamanders or the Word Bearers or anything like that. I love actually just sitting down and like reading through all this lore and just loving every moment of it, because it's so expansive, inclusive, and it's so well written and so well like maintained that like even when they add new things in, like they retcon some characters into a different way, or they make sure there's still the same overarching theme for everything. And like, they poke, like feminism is just like, oh, this is a place where men go. Okay, we're going to stick our claws into it and ruin it because we want equality for women and black people, even though there's an entire Space Marine chapter who are black. The Salamanders. We have albinos. We have Asians. We have the Arabs. We have a race we have a culture of humans that are almost see-through.
That's a thing.
That is the thing. That is the thing, because they grew up on a world where it's just pitch black all the time, and they're like, well, why would it like skin like they don't need to have the melanin to like secure their skin. So they're like, oh, look, it just slowly faded out and they became like see-through, kind of, sort of.
I was going to say, so are they invisible, or is it just okay?
It's like, have you ever seen like really veiny old people?
Oh,
Ew,
great.
like that?
Like kind of, yeah. Like where you can see like all the veins in their arms. You can see like when their skin's like really tight around bones, you can make out like the bone structure and stuff like that. But it's not like you can see the innards. It's just like you can tell they don't have melanin like the rest of us. But like again, at the same time, for me, I sit down and I read the lore. I love it every moment, and then I see the bullshit that comes from feminism trying to go, we're gonna make this fair and equal, and da 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 da, and I just go, stop, cease and desist.
It's almost as if this group of people struggles to understand what makes gun or 40K fun, and it's almost as if they assume everything is political, which is entirely what they do. Eventually what's going to happen is that they're just going to get tired and they're just going to grow out of it. But I think that the problem is far more like these people they're trying to get their ways into nerd culture and they're failing every chance of the way.
Yeah. And another real big problem for me with this current foray into the 40K situation is the fact that Games Workshop will probably capitulate like they kind of sort of have announced. Games Workshop has said they're going to try and be more diverse over the next editions. And I'm like, no, you are just recovering from the heresy that was Matt Ward and the previous owner of Games Workshop, who destroyed Warhammer Fantasy by creating Age of Sigmar and destroying the Bretonnians and Tomb Kings. That Age of Heresy is past. Do not tread back into it.
I don't think it's going to. And I don't think it's going to be the way you think it is, Allan.
I know, but at the same time, I'm freaking out because my nuns with guns. We have women in the game. We have women on the tabletop. We have women in the lore. We have fantastic women in lore. We have inquisitors who are badass motherfuckers. We have like all these great things about the series, about all the lore, and all you have to do is dig just a bit past the surface to get it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, this is a good excuse to be like, hey, we can make separate gender models and they'll buy this shit.
Somebody will buy this model.
You're right. Hey, we could just make them slightly different color and call it different gender. We make so much money.
Just put boobs on them. How about just to put boobs on a model?
Well, that's the thing is, that's the funny part about the really funny part about it is the fact that in the old Vestroyan model series, which is the old metal series that they came out with initially, they had a medic with the command squad, and it's a woman. Like, it's straight up, you can see the breasts, like it's the breasts on the combat plates. You can tell that. Like, it's not hard to tell that it's a woman. But what makes it really funny is the Vestroyan Firstborn used to be known as the Vestroyan Firstborn Sons up until about the edition that they actually released metal models for. Then they just became the Vestroyan Firstborn, which means every firstborn of the planet goes into military service regardless of what gender you are. It's just how they're making atonement for like their past like sins and stuff like that in the Imperium. But here's the funny part. This female model in this unit has a mustache on her face, and you can blatantly tell it's fake. Like, it's kind of like one side is like curled up, and you can tell the other side is kind of like slightly lopped down, and you're like, that's a fake mustache. And even in the lore, like it straight up says like the Vestroyan women who serve in these regiments are like, they'll get fake mustaches just to make themselves look more like their men, to make them look to make them look a lot more like they're
we're tough like men.
It's not
Don't
even
you have boobs?
It's not even that we're tough like men. It's no. We're here serving with our close friend. We're here serving with our brothers. You know what? Let's have a mustache. Because that's the entire thing about the Vestorian Firstborn is every man in that regiment has a mustache. I will get you like an image of the models here in a minute, but it's really funny because every man, even in the lore, like there's a novel I read which is called Commissar, which is them serving with which is a commissar being assigned to a Vestorian regiment because he did something a little disgraceful towards a noble's son, which actually didn't happen. He's just like the son had feelings for me, I didn't. The son committed suicide. The noble got me sent off planet to this Vestorian regiment. Hey, that's how it goes. And like every man in the regiment, had this prim and proper, well maintained mustache. Like like the old ones, like handlebar mustaches where they're curled up, really prim and proper, maintained and stuff like that. Vestorians take pride in that. That's like their big thing. Is like they're like, yeah, why would we not? And like it even comments in the book, like it talks about like him coming into a room and seeing a Volstroyan just standing there like adjusting their hat and getting ready to go out on patrol, and the guy and the person turns around and he's like, he sees the face and he's like, oh, it's just another man, because he sees the mustache, and then he looks down and he's like, that's boobs, and he looks back up, it's a woman. What? And he's just a little confused. It's like, yeah. Every man in this regiment has a mustache. Why shouldn't the women? And her mustache droops a bit. She's like, she adjusts it real quickly and leaves. I'm just like, huh, that's great lore. This is fantastic lore. Why would you not love it?
Because people don't like awesome things, Alan.
No. See, humans are lazy. They just look at the cover and assume. I mean, that's what I do.
I don't. I usually read the back of the book and then make my assumptions off if I like the idea of a romance or a grimdark fantasy universe.
I just look at War and Peace.
Which is what? No, you know what? I'm not even going to finish that.
I was just going to say,
to be fair, what they probably want, to be fair, Alan, what they probably want is they probably just want everything to fit their little ideals.
Yeah. And also, so destroying anything manly, this is erosion of men's, spare time, spare areas, areas that men traditionally go to, and so we have nothing left other than the barracks.
Yep. Oh, what makes it even funnier is the fact that they're like, oh, well, they don't include trans people. And I'm listening to Arch Warhammer and Sargon of Akkad talk about this. They're talking about it on Arch's on Sargon's thing. And what makes it really funny is they're talking back and forth, and like Arch just literally like lists off like 5 things. They're like, do we want to talk about kinky sexy people? Well, we have the Dark Eldar for that. Do we want to talk about transsexuals or like really, really creepy, like anything that's like overly sexualized, Slanesh, just Slanesh in general. There you go. There's that one. And I'm just like, guys, just I love my lore. I love my 40K. Keep your feminism, keep your fucking ideology out of my fucking game, please and thank you.
So you're saying that once we make a more substantial video game in our little hodgepodge company, you're gonna be in control of lore or something.
Oh, I love lore. That's the thing. Like, and this is a really big thing why I don't like Dark Souls. And I'm gonna actually like equate this back to the first topic the next topic we're gonna be talking about here in a minute. But yeah, no, we're gonna talk about this. And here's the thing, we have a friend, Rory. God's
Rory,
grace,
Rory
who loves this game, loves this game series to a T. And I look at him.
Let me put it like this: if somebody made a Dark Souls branded bar of soap, Rory would buy it
in a heartbeat. But here's the thing though for me, like Rory was talking to me. He's like, yeah, no, like it's got this really deep and expansive lore. You just have to look for it. And I'm like, there's a difference between lore that's just beneath the surface, which is what 40K is, and what fantasy was. You could play the entire tabletop your entire life and just get like the glimmer of the surface of what the lore is, and you don't have to like dig for it. It's there and it's present, but you don't need it to enjoy it. Whereas for me, with this video game that is supposed to be like this lore-rich environment where like you look at it and go, wow, that's really cool. That's a really cool lore idea and stuff like that. You can't do it because surprise,
motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker. Not only do you have to go look for it, you have to go look for it in like extremely esoteric and like out of the way places to find
No.
pieces
It's
of
worse than that. It's worse than that. It's on every single little piece of item, and then it's like this very insignificant thing. You have better luck looking at a pile of dog shit and getting something meaningful out of it. Than Dark Souls, because Dark Souls doesn't sit there and explain anything. And like, I know people sit there and are going to say, well, you don't understand. Here's the thing that Dark Souls does well, is Dark Souls has really good combat and really good oppressive atmosphere. Everything else, if you took out of the game, would be fine. The gameplay wouldn't suffer.
No, and that's another big thing for me is the fact that it has this oppressive environment. It's like very dark, it's very gritty, and you know what? I love grim dark games, but if the lore isn't there or easily accessible or easily like looked through, it kind of just falls apart, because that's the entire point of like having a grim dark universe is like the lore is easy to get to and find, and if you dig a little bit, not much, like if you scratch a little bit, you get just so much more information. And that's the problem with Dark Souls, is Dark Souls like tells a story with everything, sure, but it's done in such a bad way, like really bad. Like, okay, like that's like, yeah.
So you're saying that this Dark Souls is like a Dark Souls?
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
So this Dark Souls, it's like the new Dark Souls of Dark Souls?
I mean, it's like the Dark Souls of first-person shooters, Josh. It's the Dark Souls of the Dark Souls with the Dark Souls.
No, I'm saying it's like the Dark Souls of platforming action games.
Are you referring to a game known as Cuphead?
Please.
I'm totally referring to the Dark Souls of action platforming that is Cuphead.
Cuphead came out this week.
Yeah, and I bought it because I was like I was gonna be like, oh, maybe I can wait for it to be on sale, but there's after a while of the internet, it's just gushing about it so hard. I was like, fine, I agree with you. The animation's really good. I'm gonna buy it then. Fuck.
Oh no, okay. So here's actually a really big thing for me is I actually sat down and like looked at it and like looked into it like properly, and I've watched people play it, and it looks like a really good game.
Oh, it is.
I will freely admit that. Like, but I hear it's and again, it's actually like really hard and stuff like that.
But you want that. You want a game to be hard.
And that's the thing is you want a game to, if this game is going to be hard, and I'm honestly going to say this game is probably harder than Dark Souls. Dark Souls really actually isn't a hard game. Yes, I know, a controversial statement, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like it's a hard game. And that's not the wrong thing about it. Like it's like it's got, for me, okay, here's the thing. It's got great animation as the characters and how they do all the things in the world. Like everything you do, like when Sippy Cup, whatever his name is, Mughead,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's Mugman, actually.
Mugman? Yeah. Mugman like is just standing around. He's bouncing back and forth, and he looks like one of these old cartoon characters, which is the entire aesthetic of the game, and it works so well. And like the game isn't that is hard because it's a bullet hell platforming action game.
It's one of those games where it wears a style on the sleeve, and it's one of the coolest games ever.
I'm just happy that everyone's agreeing that, like, oh yeah, this game is just orgasmic to look at, and it's like the cool animation for back then. And it's like, yeah, it's fucking cool. Like, yeah. I'm just happy everybody's agreeing on that.
Yeah, except for the one person who's like, yeah, I would love Cuphead's aesthetic, except cartoons back then were really racist. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's not the point.
Cartoons back then were really racist, but
I don't
let's be honest.
We're not getting on that topic, though. Yeah. That's like a very dark and dangerous path that I don't want to go down tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the difficulty talk, it's more of... discussion is really boiling down to, I want to see the game versus I completed the game.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's like I personally have no problem with people who want to just see the game completed and like finish the game and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. I actually like, I don't like, for the most part, that's not a bad thing. Like that's the reason why I actually would rather sit down and watch a Let's Play and because I know I'm not going to play it. I personally know I'm not going to play it at all. At the same time, I also understand why people are kind of like they want an easier mode, but like that's the entire point. Is this game? I don't think this game has like a difficulty settings, do they? It's just
there's one setting, and that's level. That's a level specific. So depending on the level you go on, you could be like, you want this regular mode or you want this simplified. And I forget what's the difference. I think it might be less projectiles.
I believe the simplified you cannot get
Supers
through the game on. No, you cannot get through the game unsimplified.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's you can't really finish it. That's what. Yeah.
And honestly, that's not always a bad thing either. Like, okay, a really big and that's the thing is simplified is not meant to be a game that you game mode that you are like, I'm going to complete this game, blah blah blah, and like the rant that someone did recently about Cuphead and like how he mocked people who were like, this game is supposed to be hard, which is not a bad thing. Don't understand that the reason why people want to play hard games is because is a lot of gamers prefer tougher and harder games because like it gives them a challenge. It lets them like test like their like reflex and playing skills and just work with them. So and that's the thing is like that's the entire point of Cuphead. It's not meant to be an easy game because you want to like sit down and just like actually like play this tough hard game because it would actually be like really fun to play. It's rage inducing because it's like there are things that you don't expect to actually happen and then they do and you're like, oh, that was
Holy
okay.
Shit.
Oh, and in some cases you're like, that's total shit. And other points you're like, that's actually pretty fun.
It's amazing to me that the people who are saying that this game is too hard really don't seem to understand the reason. Like I listen to the Giant Bombcast and stuff like that, and they're saying, yeah, this is great. It needs to be this difficult and stuff like that. Yeah. And the thing that they proposed, which I kind of agree with, is that for colorblind modes and stuff like that, I think that
colorblind modes would be good. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but like I don't think that putting in a simplified mode would make that game easier. I don't think that putting a simplified mode into Dark Souls would make that game easier. I think that it would just increase the problem. Yeah. I mean, the problem is that you have so many people who sit there and just scream at the top of their lungs and be like, why can I not play this game? Well, okay, get good, scrub. Like, it's not an insult. It's an actual piece of advice.
Oh, no. Well, okay. It is an insult and it isn't an insult. It is a piece of advice, but it isn't a piece of advice. It is meant to be both. It is meant to be like, and the thing is that, and that's the reason why I don't like saying get good scrub unless I'm like trying to beak someone. For me, it's an insult. I don't like that term. I don't like being told get good scrub when I'm like, cool, I just started this game, you dumb piece of shit. I have yet to actually like learn most of the skills.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think like the thing I think is most egregious, and like we should all kind of say our opinion on this, is
the journalists that can't play the game. I mean,
God.
I mean, I just want to talk about that just for like 10 whole seconds and be like, man, I'm sure this guy doing previews and like looking at showing to events and trying to get a taste of what the game is. I'm sure it's completely different than what a review editor would or review guy would do. But at the same time, it's like, how long have you been in this industry, and how did you not grasp the concepts of this kind of simple game? I mean, if you compare it to anything else, this game or Cuphead is fucking Contra. This is like, how did you not figure out how this game freaking works, like, at all? You get so stuck in the fucking tutorial. Like, how?
Here's a better question. It's like, how can you be so stupid as to not follow the directions that are on the screen and then bitch about how the game had a bug that prevented you from completing the objective on the screen?
Like, if anything, I think there was some story to that of like, oh, what was it? The people he was working with, they uploaded it anyways as a joke and just kind of snowballed from there. But at the same time, it was like, well, assume this guy, let's say they recorded straight off of the industry floor of some con or expo or something. And it's like, there's noise, there's people in your face, you're kind of getting distracted from all angles. You're like, maybe just you know, you breathe, you try to breeze through things, you're like, oh, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, this is like, anyone who plays video games at all can grasp the concepts of this. In fact, there's a fucking video of the guy trying to play through this tutorial versus the pigeon that was solving a puzzle. And the pigeon fucking figured it out faster than the guy. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, it's like how hard is it to? It's like, how fucking stupid do you have to be to work in an industry that requires you to be good at something and then not even put in the effort in order to be good at something? That's the thing that kills me. It's it's you
easy
have so many options in order to cover up you being terrible at this game, and you chose to not do that at all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You didn't take the time to sit down and play the game for an extra like 20 minutes ahead of time just to like play, like just get a feel for it before you actually threw yourself fully into it, which would be the smart thing. That's the thing. Before I actually, and here, okay, I will freely admit, I'm a bit of a casual gamer now. I don't play games as much as I can, mostly because I have a really hard working job. So I don't get a chance to like actually like go work long periods of like just straight gaming, like I do over the winter or when I get the chance.
Although soon Allan's just going to be playing games nonstop.
Yeah, I will be like, guys, I got gold.
Guys, I'm finished Destiny, and I'm going to be like, Allan, it just came out like last night. It's like, I'm already done.
Destiny came out almost a month ago now, though.
I'm talking about on PC.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's coming out later, right? But no, like a big thing for me is that I will play like one, maybe two like quick games just to see how the game works, how the mechanics are like funded and stuff like that. And like I see how the game mechanics and stuff like work like that before I throw myself into a serious long haul gameplay through. It's the way you should be doing it, because if you do it any other way, you're actually like other than an intentional blind playthrough, which is not a bad thing because it actually lets you like it gives you, it's meant to be, oh shit, I'm just dropping into this without experience, which isn't a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But like when you go, if you're going to be a game journalist and you're like trying to get like a good recording and stuff like that for the game to use for like your like review and stuff like that, sit down ahead of time, play it for 20 minutes without recording anything. Just sit down, play it real quick, get the feel for the game, see how it feels for you. Make sure it's not like, you know, you being dumb or retarded, or being a retarded mouth breather or anything like that, and get a feel for the game first, and then just throw yourself in for the review after you finish like getting the feel. Some games that's not exactly easy to do because, surprise, the game is not like entirely fair about it. But at the same time,
I have a feeling that the writer was like brought on, or like the person who was doing the thing is like brought on as for writing, probably not necessarily any background in video games. So if anything, I think this video kind of is on par with the Polygon gameplay video of freaking Doom 2016. Like I think it's pretty similar.
It's pretty bad.
That was worse.
I don't know. I think it's both on par. I think they're both equally frustrating. Just equally frustrating. Well,
so here's my thing with that. It's like, again, you have more than enough tools in order to cover up your steps.
Yep.
It is not impossible in order to cover up your steps, in order to see in order to produce outgoing content. Sorry.
Jeff is currently dying. We're sorry, people. This will be the last podcast for Jeff.
It's because of this journalism that's happening. God.
Well, no, it's like the sheer laziness that they are showing. That's the thing that pisses me off. It's just like, guys, it's like, it's not hard. It's not hard in order to produce content that shows you what the game is about. The Polygon Doom video did the opposite of that. The Cuphead video makes me go, maybe I won't go to that website. Instead of going, it makes me give the game the benefit of the doubt when the person's playing it so bad.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Just watching them play that game was hard. Like I saw that video for the first time through through the person I was watching about like the Jim Sterling bullshit too, related to Cuphead, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute too. But at the same time, like I saw that video, I was like, you are missing important things. You are making me rage. Barbarianism. And I just was just.
Well, like, and even more importantly, like, this isn't a puzzle game. This isn't like everyone can see, and it's the tutorial level. So everyone who's telling you what you need to do is not wrong because it's literally there on the screen.
It's not even just on the screen. It's like, it's just there, and you're like, oh. It doesn't even like pop up. It's just as you come into screen, it's there. Look. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of like, it's even for me, it's really frustrating to see people play through that game, that video, and just go, oh, all of like a 30-second video. That video should have been all of like 10 seconds, and then it wasn't. And it was frustrating.
That being said, at least it wasn't like the Google Pixel phone reveal.
Okay, what happened?
So Google spent an hour. Let's give them an hour talking about how their Bluetooth audio is the best Bluetooth audio speakers. They're making really good audio speakers, guys. And then they take out the only audio feature in their phone.
Oof.
Don't worry though. They have 2 speakers on the phone itself, so you can listen to your phone music on your phone. Like, if you want to use headphones, well, I guess it sucks to be you.
So get the dongle.
So in other words, they got rid of in other words, they're not doing the right thing.
Guys, they did exactly what Apple did.
Yep.
And it's very funny to me because it's like, man, like, I wasn't going to buy a Pixel. I was thinking about buying a Pixel, actually. And now I'm not.
Now you're not, which is a smart choice to do.
If anything, in my head, I was like, oh, the Pixel, maybe once my phone finally, like, either starts shitting the bed or it starts slowing down or it's like, oh, if the screen's too scratched or something, I'd be like, I'll go get a new phone or something. That Pixel, I heard Pixel's good. And then after hearing, like, yeah, they just don't have a headphone jack. And it's like, well, going back to Samsung again.
Yeah, it's dumbfounding.
It really is. Like, it's actually kind of like, and for me, it's kind of distressing too, because like, that was actually like a phone that I was like surprisingly excited about too, which was like,
it's amazing because it's like, it was the iPhone.
Really cool looking too.
It looks like a good phone, but like, you know what? It doesn't have a headphone jack. Okay, I'm not going to give you my money.
Pretty much.
And that is one issue I have with those types of phones is like, okay, if I'm going to be spending a large portion of the money, don't take away features. Like,
yeah,
please don't.
But you want your phone to be partly waterproof, don't you?
I don't care if my phone is waterproof.
I mean, your friends dunk you in the pool like all day, right? I mean,
no, they don't.
I mean, you get the splash of the water, of the water cooler over your head, like in sports, don't you, all the time, right? You want it partly waterproof, right? Right? Sure you do.
I mean, I don't want to ever take my fucking phone near the fucking water for, a very valid reason.
That's another thing. It's like, people kind of don't do that shit, and if they do, they will take away your thing before you throw you in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, decent people would.
Yeah, and it's like it's they're taking away something I like.
It's not even they're taking away something that I like either. It's just it's a simple function that just makes sense to keep.
Yeah, and it's like they don't have the Johnny Ives to hide behind. And the fact that and like Johnny Ives, like I think has a mental fucking disorder, if I'm honest. Like I'm pretty sure Johnny has like some sort of like syndrome which makes him perpetually hate buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have that feeling. I get that feeling some days too. I'm just like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
It's funny because it's like everyone could sit there and I was talking to a coworker and everyone could sit there and see like the way they could actually put a fingerprint sensor on the actual iPhone X. But nobody could sit there and actually like explain why. Actually, no. One of my coworkers could actually explain why, and he basically just said, "Yeah, Johnny just hates buttons, so Johnny does what Johnny does."
Johnny just hates buttons. Fair. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like how
And in other news, so yeah, I'm just like. I'm gonna read my rant now that I wrote like at the time of this. Fuck Google, spend so much fucking time talking about fucking all like they know the jack is fucking shit from a turd that came out of a wash. And what do? You remove the fucking headphone jack. It's not a disappointment, but it's limiting and stupid beyond belief. It's like buying a high-end speaker and using wireless connections instead of wire.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh no, a real big thing for me was and this is the reason why I didn't want to get any of the new Apple like kits that were coming out for the phones and stuff like that, is because when they removed the auto jack, I was like, yes, but the reason why I buy an iPhone is because it doubles as an iPod. Why would I not want to have that?
Yeah,
And
it's like they kind of forget what the hell Apple is, what their products are, basically. It's like, in the first place, these were meant for like music player bullshit, right? Like, and now it's just they completely forgot what people in general like to do with their cell phones. Listen to fucking music.
It's
like, well, I'll just wait until the next gen.
Just wait until they like go like, oh, we put the headphone jack back in,
or. And of course he tried to brush under the rug of like, the headphone jack is such it's industry standard that why would anyone live without the headphone jack? And it's like, oh, fuck you. I
just love all the articles that are like the headphone jack is completely useless, and it's like, you're just as bad as the other journalists.
Well, freaking, it's just as bad as when I got my Samsung phone. I was trying to find where the default music player app was because it wasn't in the phone. So I was like, well, what the fuck? So I had to look up of like, where do I get this fucking app? And I found this one article explaining, it's a good thing that they took out the default app on this thing because Google Play that uses your internet data, using your internet data all the fucking time, such a way better thing. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, motherfucker, I have no data. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, Jesus.
Josh has a problem with data, guys. That's what I'm learning here.
Like, it's pissing me off, guys. Like, man, this program's so much better and fucking blah blah and using your internet. I'm like, what about the people who don't have internet? What about the people who just have music on their goddamn phone? It's like, man, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, it's people who don't understand the reasons.
I don't understand. Like, hey, not everything has to be connected. Like. Or freaking, like, there's a reason why a thing works in the first place. You don't have to reinvent the wheel again. Or hell, I think the more root of the problem of why they're taking out the headphone jack is start realizing, we can make a lot of money on these stupid peripheral bullshit, right? Yeah, we can make tons of fucking money on these peripheral bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like
that it's a natural, like, progression of the system. It just feels like it's just...
Yeah. Like, I just hope people just don't buy the fucking phone. I mean, there's gonna be people who buy the fucking phone, but I hope less people buy the phone. Like a good amount.
Yeah, I'm buying a Note instead.
Good man. Stick with Samsung.
When it burns a hole through my pocket, you guys can look back at this podcast.
Dude. Okay, first of all, the hole burning is only with the tablets.
No, it was with the 7.
It's 7, but it was tablets. I looked into it. It was the fucking tablets. It wasn't the phones. It was the tablets. So basically, like everything else was fine. It was just some more of the tablets were bursting in flames for some fucking reason.
I thought it was the Note 7 that was bursting into flames.
No,
that's the thing. It wasn't necessarily the phones. It was just the fucking tablet portion of it. So it's like, man, they could have just spread a message across the board going, "Hey guys, it turns out it was the fucking tablets. It's the tablets. Don't worry about the phone. The phone's fine." But no, they never did that. So it's like, who the hell's PR? Fire them. Like, This is us angry at the world podcast.
This is Josh's angry at the world podcast.
Fucking pull your shit together, please. Freaking, I think the internet just makes it slightly worse because it just makes it forefront in front of you, and it's like, how did you not see this problem? Are you that lazy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's like, I'm lazy, but at the same time, it's like, I can at least do my fucking job. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This guy.
Anyways.
Man, at the end of this podcast, I'm just gonna play Pokemon.
Yep. I'm excited for that, by the way.
Josh is gonna come so hard, he's just gonna explode.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up the weirdest porn possible and just
He's just gonna look up Witch Mercy.
Yeah, Witch Mercy, getting slammed by the Paladin, dude from Paladins, what's his name? Drogo, just getting slammed.
That sounds like something you would do.
I took that opportunity to meme, and I am successful.
So for anyone who doesn't know what the next topic is, we're talking about how Overwatch recently unveiled their newest Halloween skins and put all of their old stuff on display, and I got the Witch Mercy skin.
Oh, the skins are amazing. I love the new skins. I love Dragon Symmetra. I'm like, that is an amazing skin.
Dragon Symmetra has the most plainest, aesthetic. Like, the skin looks cool, don't get me wrong, but everything else about it might as well just be the worst thing in the world.
Like,
I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's solid enough that you can get it works. It works and it works well. And that's not the problem with it. Just because it's plain doesn't mean it's not a good skin. For me, because of how it's done, it's just well enough that it's memorable and people will play it a lot. But it's not like super over the top, like Pumpkinhead fucking Reaper.
I love that skin.
I hate that skin. It's so bad. It looks so bad.
I think it would have been awesome if he was Headless Horseman Reaper.
That's what the entire point of the entire Pumpkinhead thing is. He's supposed to be Headless Horseman.
Oh, right. I mean, if his pumpkin was on his hip or something, but whatever.
Yeah, that would have been I would have been like, that's really cool. Or you shot at him and anytime you hit his head, the pumpkin just shattered and he just ran around without a head. I've been like, yo,
that would have been insane, but they can't really do that.
Yeah, because how would you do headshots if you can't find the head?
Yeah.
True.
I mean, cool as it would be, there's some reasons why.
Oh, I know that. But the thing is for me, it's just I find it being a kind of I don't like the skin because it just doesn't look well to me. It's a bad skin. It's just
just put on the biker Reaper skin. You'd be fine. The MX biker, the BMX biker Reaper.
Okay. Actually, here's another thing that I'm actually really that I liked about the new skin for Reaper for this Halloween, which is the Dracula skin. I love that skin. That's a skin that I'm like, yo, that's a skin you should be really proud of for Reaper because it looks fucking badass. It actually feels it feels so much better than the pumpkin one for me because
Really, they look the same to me.
I know they are very much different, and the way they are different is just very well done because it's not like they're different in a way that works very well with each other. Is that Pumpkinhead has the big pumpkin, and it has that huge over the top cape, which is which would work with it if it didn't look like a vampire's cape.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a headless horseman, and that's the reason why it's like it has so many elements about it that just conflict. The pumpkin head with the cape, and the way they did the fucking guns. Oh, I can't stand the guns.
The guns look the same for both of them, though.
That's but here's the big thing though with like the
vampiric skin,
the Dracula skin.
Yeah,
because that's what it's called. It's Dracula because Reaper McCree got fucking Van Helsing, which I'm like, that's fucking cool. That's amazing. Which just is so cool. It looks really well. It works really like fantastic with each other, and it makes sense for them too. It's but the problem for me with Reaper's pumpkin skin is it didn't have any character that actually contrasted it well.
Yeah.
And it just and again, if you look into like the gameplay with Junkenstein's castle, the Reaper, they still refer to him as the Reaper, but he's a pumpkinhead motherfucker. And I'm like, he is the worst skin for that. If it had been like the Reaper, where it had like they made him look actually like the Reaper, like he just didn't have he wasn't like leather bound and like all that stuff. Like he looked like he had a scythe on his back and had like the skull mask and stuff like that, and just
that would have been cool.
That would have been wicked, and like they gave him a constant, or like his smog effect made him look like he was the Reaper, like about to strike at someone.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool, but it just they missed so many golden opportunities with the first one. I would say that they hit a few things, golden opportunities. I mean, Witch Mercy is sexy as hell. I mean, dude. The meme. I mean, Dragon Symmetra is also pretty fucking hot. But
I mean,
I want that. I want Zenyatta's. Cthulhu.
I have Zenyatta's.
I want May. I really want her because she's a fucking vampire, and I'm like, that's amazing.
That seems like a
Japanese vampire.
No, it's Chinese vampire. Chinese hopping vampire. That's what they are. That's the reason why they have the scrolls in it, is because they're basically undead, and they hop. They chase you. They hop. They can cross running rivers and everything. They just hop, and if you remove the seal from their head, they just drop. And it doesn't sound that threatening when you think about it. You're like, well, that doesn't sound all that threatening. But the thing is, the only way to get to peel the seal off is to be in front of them, where they can grab you. And once they have a hold of you, they literally pull you in and just tear you to shreds.
Well, what you do is you just strong arm one of their head, and then you just grab their seal and pull it off.
Actually, apparently they're actually really strong. Like, you know how we joke about like the West jokes about like how strong Dracula and all that fucking shit is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like they're kind of like that strong.
So the one thing I hate about with the new update is that they had all these skins going on plus the old skins. I'm thinking in the back of my head, how many boxes do I have to open just so I can get the skin I fucking want? Like, this is gonna be a hassle.
It's gonna be a real tough. You mean it happened with me with Lieutenant Wilhelm? That made me angry because I went through 25 boxes. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the skin. I bought the skin, and the next box I opened, I got fucking...
That, I think, is a great segue into our next topic. The ESRB just decreed that... What was it? Oh, loot boxes are not gambling.
I mean... You in essence they're kind of not, but at the same time they're kind of vampirizing on people who have like addictive personalities type of thing.
Oh, they can be, but like
yeah. But like at the same time, it's like for the difference between gambling and loot boxes is that loot boxes, you always get a tangible item of some sort. Even though it's like same thing with Magic the Gathering cards. It's like you get a random bag of cards that you get anything from this to that. You rip it open and you have cards. And the thing is, when you're paying for it, you're still getting the item that you're paying for is just randomized. But the thing with like gambling is like I'm throwing money on a table and hoping I get more money back, although you can get no money back. So that's kind of like the big difference. I think the more of like we shouldn't be saying is loot boxes gambling. We should be saying more of an issue of I don't know, like should loot boxes be considered what was it, like, I don't know, for evil people or something? Like some better definition?
Here's my thing, and this is my issue, is that loot boxes are fine when they have, like, when they're just for cosmetic purposes.
Oh, yeah.
I think Overwatch does a very good job of that. I thought when TF2 was doing loot boxes, I thought it was stupid and dumb, but I think that cosmetic purposes really helps the gameplay and stuff like that. So, like, that's my thing.
Yeah.
But like the issue that with this is that, like, there are some games that have pay to win strategies. Right?
Yeah, just fork up the $40. Just fork up the $40.
$40 and get a bunch of stuff. Hey, it's not a big issue.
Yeah, you can totally kill a boss if you just fork up the $20.
I know, but it's like still, it doesn't change the fact.
I mean, I think the most egregious one that came out just recently is the new Shadow of Mordor 2.
And Battlefront. Shadow of Mordor 2, I'm refusing to play until they either remove that feature or call it a day.
It's gonna, like, basically the loot box. The thing is, the game, you can still have fun and play the game. It's just when you get to the late game that you're just grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, and you're like, fuck, where am I supposed to find better orcs? And apparently the loot boxes could give you a nice easy answer for that, but it's like, no, you have to grind out more. What was the hour total? I think it was like 50 hours or something in total of that game, just so you could just get to the fucking ending.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna come to a head somewhere. I'm not sure where, but it's gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, it's already coming to a head, though.
Yeah. I think with loot boxes, there's gonna be a line drawn in the sand of like, hey, if it's for cosmetic, it's fine. If it's for, like, let's say, card battle game of some sort, you should always have an option to buy the card you want with a decent marketplace or something. And also, what's another option for it? Like, I don't know, something like that of, like, you have option A or option B. And option B should not be so easy to do versus option A, because option A should be like, oh, I don't feel like I have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Of course, time will tell and see how far Battlefront would be with their freaking loot box system. Because currently I'm playing For Honor. I'm playing on and off, and I think I have like at least 60 hours in that game. And there is loot box system in that only is available for the certain mode of, what was it, the Dominion. And basically the items, help level up your health regen, your stamina, your how fast you attack and shit like that. But the thing is, the percentages and what you do in the game doesn't really feel like it making much difference to me anyways. Of like, at the end of the day, it's like, can you still defeat this other guy who has higher percentage armor? Oh, you totally can. And you can, if he sucks ass, he still goes down. Like,
yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be weird of how this plays out.
Yeah. It's looking like that way.
Actually, personally, for me, that's the reason why I like the game War Thunder, because it's unlike World of Tanks, which is like, oh, you aim for this spot and you cause X amount of damage. It still has skill in it, but it's not as much skill based. With War Thunder, you actually have to like sit down and go, okay, I have to learn where I'm shooting, because if I miss and the shell bounces, it does nothing. Whereas if I hit and I don't kill enough, the guy is going to get a shot back at me. So you learn to, like, with a lot of War Thunder players, you actually like notice like the players who are, like, in my opinion, really good, like Bowtime Gaming, like a lot of them have learned to, like, okay, I need to aim for this spot. They can get away with missing it if they can cause a damage to like certain parts, like knocking out the gunner and driver. Suddenly that tank's basically dead in the water for the next 10 seconds. Cool, I can kill it. And but it doesn't have loot boxes and stuff like that, so it kind of sort of is the same, but at the same time it's not. And then just yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing World of Tanks, and it was kind of neat, but at the same time, it was like, oh wow, look at that, like all this all this bullshit that you can throw your money at. Like, you can get better dudes in your tank, you can get a better tank, you can get better engine, you can get better bolts. You can chrome out those bolts.
Chrome out everything.
You can chrome out everything, and it's like, yeah, if you have all the credit card, here's everything. I always felt that was kind of egregious in that game. I was like, fuck. It kind of, and another thing about loot box system, depending on the system, it's always in your face about it. Of like, you could just give us $5 and you can have a better car. Give us $5 and you get a better gun. Give us $5 and you get a better dick. Get a better dick with your $5. Oh no, you have AIDS. That was part of the loot box. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you. Don't buy the loot box with AIDS. It's in small print on the back of the wrapper too. You'll flip open the end of the wrapper like a Magic Gathering cards, and it says all the odds of the cards and what odds of getting a mythic, and then like underneath that is like the odds of getting AIDS.
Odds of getting AIDS is about 0 to 1. And I think anyone want to talk about anything else, or
I'm pretty much good. Oh no, I'm not.
Star Wars. I changed oil today. It was fine. I put my car in a thing. I fell off a ramp.
You fell off a ramp?
My car fell off the ramp.
How did you pull that off?
I don't know. I was putting the Mustang in a sea can, and then I put mothballs around the Mustang. But when I was putting the Mustang into the said sea can, it slipped off the ramp, and the ramp fell out from underneath, so the car fell down. And yeah, that was fun.
How much damage?
No damage. It was
no damage.
No damage.
Man,
so it just basically slipped. It wasn't like the way you make it sound is like it was like a 5-foot drop.
No damage. It was like maybe like half a inch or two.
Half an inch or two. That's
or like a couple of inches.
Yeah, jeez, it's nothing.
Yeah.
No. As long as you got your oil changed and cars put away for the winter because now it's been winterized.
I didn't change my oil. I put fuel stabilizer in it. I changed oil today on my other car because that one was like basically done.
It's
so
like
the Honda has oil and headlights now.
Sorry, the only thing I can think of in my head when you're saying that your car fell off the ramp was this really redneck video I saw on YouTube of a couple of people were like, okay, we're gonna put this car into the back of this truck because it's the only thing I can seem to rent. We're gonna just ride it up on these like 2x4s, I think, like not even proper metal ramps or anything, just 2x4s. And they told the person inside the car, don't move the wheels. So everyone's pushing the car, she's not moving the wheel, and of course they fuck up gloriously. Like the car flipped on its side. Everything's fucked up, and the guy's like, of course, at the end of the video, the guy's like, I told you to move the wheel, and she's like, I didn't move the wheel. It's like, the person who's in the car is supposed to line it up properly. Like, you don't tell them to not move the wheel. Like, oh, like everything about this video was fucking trash, and I was like, oh man, good. Everyone's an idiot. That's good. That's real good.
It's a wonderful sign about society. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, this video was forever ago, but man, like every time I think about like ramps, or someone's like, oh man, I jumped off this ramp, it's just immediately zoom out and back to the video.
You go back to the redneck times.
Go back to the redneck. Don't move the wheel.
No, jeez. I'm one of my buddies. He drives a Mustang at work. He's got a Mustang from I think 2014, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's 4 years younger than me, by the way. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But besides the point, I'm sitting there.
I mean, aren't I 4 years younger than you?
You're what? Aren't you like 23?
20. Yeah, I'm 23. Yeah.
Yeah, you're only 2 years younger than me.
Oh. Well, tell that guy he's a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 21. He's got a Mustang. Fucking bullshit. Then again, he's also kind of a drug dealer too. But so one day we're sitting there and we see his car. We're working, and he's been pranking the lead hand, and I've been pranking the lead hand too, because we get bored at work and we want to fuck with someone, and the lead hand is the easiest guy to do this with. So one day he tapes the lead hand's stick shift with just nothing but like flagging tape, the bright pink flagging tape that you can see on the construction sites. Yeah. He also does it to his steering wheel, and then just leaves this and just leaves it alone. Ola, the lead hand, he comes over, looks in the car, sees it. He looks over at Mike. He's like, "Oh, if you're so bored to do this to me, or if you're not busy to do, if you don't have anything to do that you can do this to me, I'm gonna make you have work tomorrow." And like the guy's like, "Ha, yeah, that's funny." And then the next day, he spent like the next 3 days, he spent the full next 3 days. He was adamant about the fact that he would let up eventually, but then like the third day, he's like, "Okay, please, I will take it off," and like the stuff. So he goes over to the car. I'm walking over with him to make sure he takes off the stuff. The lead hand comes over, looks in his car, is like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Don't worry, Mike. I'll get you back eventually for the prank." And the guy who's standing there with the Mustang, he's like, "Wait, what?" Oh, and like I'm just standing there snickering my ass off because I know for a fact that Oleg's gonna get the lead hand's gonna get him back eventually. And it's so funny because he's paranoid. He's currently been he hasn't been paranoid over the past few weeks, but like Oleg, the lead hand hasn't done anything yet. And I'm just like waiting for this Mustang to like get like flagging tape wrapped all the way around it, and fucking magnets just stuck all across it. Like when this guy goes for a full prank, he goes all the way.
So here's what I would do, and this is my suggestion for him: take a piece of like a 1 inch like by 1 inch thing, and then just walk up to your friend, and go, "Got bad news for you, guy. I accidentally hit your car." And then sit there and say, "Yeah, so if you find the scratch, I'll pay for it." And then just watch the craziness unfold.
Oh, I would not. I'm not going to suggest that to him because God, no, just no. Yeah. However, I know for a fact that I'm on the hit list for my lead hand to get back at someone, because what I did to my lead hand, although I'm not sure he knows it was me that did this, but I sat there and I fucking took his helmet. It's in the side of the foreman's truck. Like the truck, he just usually stores the helmet in the back of the truck when he's inside the truck with the foreman. So I just reached in, picked it up, tucked it in front of my chest, and walked away. So my back was to him the entire time. I walked over to the other truck, I tucked it in the box, and I hid it behind a few things, and then I walked away. Acted like nothing was wrong. The guy comes out, he's like looking around for his helmet. I can tell he's looking for his helmet because he's like moving stuff around in the back of Jimmy's my boss's truck. And then he walks over to us. He's like, "Hey guys, did you guys see what happened to my helmet?" I'm like, "No, man. Like I thought you had it." And he's like, "No, I put it in the back of the boss's truck." And I'm like, "Well, sorry, man. It may have fallen out when you and Jimmy went for a drive." So he gets in his car and he drives around, and then he stops right by the work truck that we have that I stored the helmet in. I freely admit that I stored the helmet in there.
Mhm.
And he goes into the box where I stored it, and he looks around, and I'm like, well, he found the helmet. Oh, well, the prank's done. And I see him walk back around from the truck, no helmet in hand. I'm just standing there, and I turn around, and I face my back towards him, and I listen for him to close the door, because when he closes like, he makes it like sound really loud. And he walks, and he just starts driving around the site looking for his helmet. I'm just standing there trying to keep a straight face, and two of the guys who are there with me, the one guy who's already pranked him is just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And the other guy's like, Jesus Christ, Allan, you're going to get the revenge that's going to be brought upon you is going to be real. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm finding this funny. And so like 10 minutes later, we're covering some pieces, and like the lead hand comes up and he's like, hey guys, I can't find my helmet. And like I casually like look over towards the work truck. We can now see the box that still have been left open, and I can see the helmet from where we're standing. I'm like, hey Oleg. And the guy's like, yeah. Is that it in there? And he's like, what are you talking about? I already looked at the truck. I'm like, well, there's a bright orange thing in the box there. And he like looks over. He's like, oh, hey, yeah, thanks. That's my helmet. And he drives off. And I turn around and I just break out laughing. And the guys are like, you're going to have so much trouble. And then the guy comes back. And he's like, hey, thanks, Allan. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And they looked at the guy who pranked him before. And he's like, don't worry, Mike. If you're that bored, I can find you something to do. And I just like, oh my God, I just shifted. And I just like, and he's like, why would I do that? I've learned my lesson from last time. And I'm just like, I don't. And he's like, and the guy's like, Allan did it. And my response is like, why would I mess with Oleg? I know not to mess with Oleg. And Oleg, and the guy's just like,
So
he's like, yeah.
So Star Wars.
All right, Star Wars.
Allan, let's talk about how much we disliked the Star Wars trailer.
I didn't dislike it though.
It was the worst pile of garbage ever, said no one ever.
Okay, so I liked it in the sense that it feels like it's a good style setup. That's how I see it. But it looks like it's gonna be a bit predictable in the style. It's gonna be like the Empire Strikes Back and da 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 da. But at the same time, they have the ability to have like the plot twist of the century in this movie. Like it looks like it could be done really well and be just phenomenal. Like they will be speaking of this in ages bygone and ages to come about the plot twist that was Star Wars Episode 8. But at the same time though, I'm kind of like indifferent towards the fact that like Rey is she's such a bland character. Finn looks like he's going to have an interesting story arc because I saw him dressed in the First Order black uniform, and I'm like, I am ready for this scene and the entire story surrounding it. But Rey doesn't look all that interesting, and even though Luke's in a lot of what looks like a lot of the scenes related to Rey, I don't know how I feel about how they're going to do it. Get out of it. But at the same time, I just feel like the movie's going to be – I feel like the movie's going to be good. I really do. I feel like the movie's going to be a very solid movie. But at the same time, I'm worried about how they're going to be doing their –
the movie
– how they're going to lead into Episode 9.
Yeah, like the movie is going to be solid, sure. But the thing is, after watching the trailer, I'm just looking at it going, this just feels like the first three movies again. Like it just feels like the first three movies again.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean, and I understand what you mean entirely. But like honestly, for me right now, I'm just kind of like, I want it to be good. I want a good Star Wars movie that isn't just a Rogue One, even though Rogue One wasn't great. It was better than the prequels, in my opinion.
I just hope our crazy fan theory of like, oh, what if they both was it Kylo Ren and what's her face flip sides? It'd be like, oh.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool, in all honesty. I'd be like totally all for that. Mind you, the only thing that I've seen wrong with this movie so far is the fact that everything just seems like it got scaled up in size. But that's me being facetious about the fact that scaling stuff up does not make it more epic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think we're done for the night.
I think we're done too. Anyways, thank you everyone for listening to the Black Mind Podcast. My name was Jeff. Joining me as always was Allan and Josh. We will probably have some guests on sooner than later. Probably, eventually. More likely. You can listen to us every Thursday.
Again.
You can listen to us every Thursday. Rory's not a guest. Rory's a host.
When was the last time we saw that motherfucker on here?
I mean, a while ago, but Rory is a host because Rory was on like 8 times in a row.
And I am a host. I got the rank of host after being on 2 times in a row, and then just maintained presence.
So you're saying these badges of titles that we have means nothing at all?
No, they literally mean nothing.
They do mean something. They do mean
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And before anybody asks or complains about last week, surprise! It was Turkey Day last week, and none of us felt like dropping
Canadian Turkey Day.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't get my fucking turkey, so I'm upset.
Sucks to be you, Jeff.
What?
Too
Did you always
bad.
have a Thanksgiving pizza or something?
No, I didn't get anything.
Because there's one year I remember of like Thanksgiving, and my parents were like, "Man, we're just not feeling Thanksgiving at all." So we're like, "Can we just do pizza?" And it was like, "Yeah, we'll just get a fuck ton of pizza." So we just got a lot of pizza that one day.
Yeah,
It was
that
pretty
sounds
good.
like you.
Yeah, well.
But yeah,
So-
that's the podcast for the week. Everybody have a good week, and please try to behave yourselves out there.
Don't you don't have to. As long as nukes don't go flying, that's okay.
Just as long as you're not lazy as fuck, everything should be fine. So let's listen to my Jew harp.
Yeah.
Or just get my dad to do it, because he doesn't really have a silver tongue. He has a wooden spoon tongue. Because he keeps talking in circles until the person gets impatient and just gives him what he wants. like my. Well, no, because let's say we're listening to something on the radio, and my dad doesn't quite understand what they're talking about. So my dad would be like, "So what are they talking about on the radio?" I'd be like, "They're talking about this, Dad." No, but I mean, what are they talking about on the radio? No, Dad, they're talking about this. No, but like what? No, Dad, they're talking about this topic that I do not give a shit about. They're talking about this, and I was like, oh, and then going on a merry way. But it's like, in general, when he's like, "Oh, what's this about?" It's like you have to explain to him 3 fucking times. And it's like, God damn it. It's like talking to a brick.
That sounds like something that you would do, Josh.
Yeah.
I think I saw Josh actually officially mad recently.
There's multiple times.
Multiple times I've just annoyed you to the point of where you just go,
"Why am I here?
What am I doing?" I mean, I really kind of want to watch Josh playing Cuphead.
I'm actually pretty good at Cuphead, although I had got to play it again because I stopped at what boss was it?
I kind of want to play some more of it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the first couple bosses were like, "Oh, this is not too bad. This is not too bad. This is not too bad." And it's like I'm going through it, the motions and stuff like that. So I'm kind of wondering where the peak or the highs and lows of the difficulty are going to show.
I just read something that just made me laugh my head off.
Oh, hello. Come here, buddy.
I'm so going to hell.
Yep. I mean, we're all gonna go to that fictitious place that people say we should go to. Heaven or hell, the abyss that our great Cthulhu Lord, our Lord Cthulhu.
I mean, how dare you insult Cthulhu?
Or
number one, you bastard.
What's that fucking god from Scientology again? Is that
the giant? Are you thinking of the flying spaghetti monster?
No. Well, yeah. Okay, that one too.
He died for our sins, Josh.
I thought he was. No, I thought it was something else. I thought it was he got eaten for our sins or some shit because he's spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. No, it's it's Pastafarian.
You know, it'd be great if the flying spaghetti monster was fucking real. Like, just come down to Earth, and it's like, it's not. I mean, it will look like a bowl of spaghetti, but it's legitly of like a space creature coming to Earth, and
it's a god.
Yeah, it's not like a god. Maybe it has abilities we just don't understand, and people or just can't.
Well, all I'm hearing is that we should make a giant spaghetti monster boss.
It could, although again,
it would only be as funny as if we made a giant bull monster as a boss, and then just gave it a massive dog.
The thing is, like, if we're gonna do flying spaghetti monster, it has to be like not on the nose spaghetti monster, just more of like, this monster just looks like a bowl of spaghetti. Like, it's a little bowl in spaghetti, and maybe 2 like big old eyeballs, like huge eyes,
and
look like
a bunch of meatballs. It's a giant spaghetti monster that looks like a penis.
Just tentacle monster. I mean, that's called tentacle monster.
No.
It's a Tangela? It's a Tangela from Pokemon?
No, it's a spaghetti monster.
Tangela from Pokemon?
But it has a
that's
penis.
A spaghetti monster.
All praise Tangela.
All praise Tangela.
Cuphead is everything wrong with gaming.
Fucking, actually, the video, I forget where this video was posted, but it was people using the term Dark Souls to describe difficulty in all matters of video games. It's getting to the point of like, we should really retire this, because what does this mean anymore? It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't understand.
Dark Souls isn't even that hard of a game, though.
Well,
No, I
but
don't understand.
It's what people try and describe hard difficulty, but it's like, but no, you're describing a game type.
No.
This is not difficulty.
No.
Just say it's difficult. That's all you
exactly.
need to say. Like
I can understand using Dark Souls as like a reference for like rage inducing. It's not a difficult game. It really isn't.
I would rather have them say it is a Dark Souls like when referring to games that are Dark Souls liked.
Like the gameplay is like similar.
The gameplay is Dark Souls.
Yeah, like your third-person action, running around trying to parry and shit.
Yeah. Like that's what that should be called. Don't use Dark Souls as like it's like the Dark Souls of first-person shooters. It's like,
so it's like
what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do you mean by that?
It's like when somebody sits here and says like it's like the FTL of a game. It's like, A, that is completely wrong and stupid, and 2, there's never going to be another FTL game unless I make it.
This is the Mario FPS.
This is good. This is the Mario of like first-person shooters.
This is the hentai of first-person shooters.
Oh, please no.
I mean,
also, have we started the
like,
episode? Because if we have, I have been like paying attention.
Oh fuck! Just turn your...
No, we've just been recording and talking mad shit about game journalists.
I'm sorry. In the background, I wanted to finish watching Ruby before we started because like it's the first episode. Mind you, it's a full like 23-minute long episode too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So Ruby actually dropped, and you're just like, Ruby.
No, like yeah, it launched like season 5 launched tonight.
I have to watch this anime show that's made in America.
That's don't get even good.
I need to watch my animus.
I need to watch this anime show that is made in...
I need to watch this anima.
Anime show.
I played Final Fantasy. I don't want to go anywhere near anima.
What? What the hell?
Have you never looked up what anima looks like from Final Fantasy?
No, I haven't, because the question never came up.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up for you real quick and show you.
I said the word enema.
Yeah, you still.
I'm thinking of the medical term enema.
See, here's the thing. Here's all I'm going to say is, not only is this entirely completely stupid, but also we have a bunch of group of people that we have to make fun of this episode.
I'm not gonna.
You're not talking about that shit.
What shit?
Oh man, it has like the same name. That's so bad.
That's the reason.
Wait, that's anima?
Anima.
Okay, drop the E, drop the A, and then replace it with the E at the beginning of the thing and search that and see what comes up.
No.
God, no.
You would probably die of laughter. By the way, that's a big switchblade.
Yep, it is. Ruby.
Isn't this boss's final moves is just looking at a creature and killing it?
Yeah, it's the most powerful summon in the game besides like I think one other character. And the reason why this guy's so powerful is because when you summon it and you get its ultimate off, it literally drags you to hell and just ends you.
Right. I remember now. Man, that game was
drags you to hell.
By the way,
and
the upper portion, like that top portion that's all bound up in chains, is the saint that it's supposed to represent, like somebody who's bound up and like killed, and the other half is supposed to be his mother, who twisted and corrupted him.
Yep.
That is fucked.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Hello, Charlie.
At least it's not like Knights of the Round.
Oh.
The Knights of the Round for Final Fantasy VII.
You want to link it up? I don't know what it looks like, so.
They're the most. It's the most powerful summon in the game. So it's basically all of the knights attacking. Anyways,
I don't know what else to talk about this because
we could talk about the USRB B, not classifying loot boxes as gambling.
That's actually the smart thing. Shouldn't be.
Yeah. So
hey, thank you, Josh, for putting that on that watch list, because I actually need to rant about that for a little bit today. Fucking Cuphead.
What? What? Your service provider?
No, Cuphead.
Cuphead.
And also,
you want to rant about Cuphead?
I haven't played it, but I need to rant about like how everybody's acting towards it. Additionally,
just put Jim Sterling. Just put Jim Sterling.
No, you put Jim Sterling.
I'm not going to put Jim Sterling because I don't want to talk about his fucking fat ass.
I don't want to talk about the man who.
I'm not going to talk about Jim Sterling.
I don't want to talk about a man who approves of fucking doxing.
I don't want to talk about a man who has literally jumped off a cliff.
Did you see the fucking video he did?
Yeah, I did. I watched the Sargon video of refuting that video, and I literally went. God damn it!
God, I know what I can talk about. It's a little bit political, but it's also a little bit fucking lore related to this thing.
Of course. I thought in Warhammer it's so far past of this bullshit that they don't have that bullshit.
They don't. In lore, as Arch Warhammer puts it in one situation, he literally says, "Yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. The Emperor will take whoever wishes to serve and send him into the meat grinder. That's how that works. There are regiments of all women, regiments of all men, and then there are mixed regiments. Although those mixed regiments often have the problem of their female troopers getting pregnant."
Yeah.
That sounds like a realistic. I mean, nothing says like, hey, let's have sex, than getting it raided by a Tyranid.
Yeah. Another thing is like they're so far,
or just randomly appearing, or just randomly like being sent out to die on a, what was it? Yeah, with a.
Well, that, and they're so far flung into the future where feminism and racism and all that shit doesn't fucking matter because it got a little sorted out by
No, Josh, let me make 100% clear. Humanity still didn't get their shit together.
Humanity got their shit together.
That's fucking bullshit.
No. No. That's not true. Humanity got their bullshit together. Then all the shit went to fucking hell, literally. Then the Emperor fixed up Earth, got some rowdy boys, fixed them up, made them into the Thunder Warriors, conquered Earth, then went over to Mars, conquered Mars, got Mars to join them, and then went about the universe fixing everything. And just as he was about to finish fixing everything, his fucking crybaby son Horus decided to fucking backstab him.
It was a glorious day for us Chaos Marines.
Fuck off.
When Horus decided. I mean. Like, let's be honest, Allan. What side would you rather be on? The Ultramarines or Chaos? Oh my god.
Personally.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit, Josh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What?
Game journal. That's like a topic I would put.
That's the reason why. That's the reason when I saw Cuphead come up. That's what I wanted to rant about. Was game journalists.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, there's technically 3 topics in one topic, but I mean.
Okay.
Fuck. Star Wars trailer. I actually want to talk about that.
Oh, did I see that? I did see that. A friend showed it to me at work.
I saw that too, and I
was like, whatever, it's Star Wars again.
Make Rey go to the dark side, please.
Well, now I'm like, oh, this is exactly the same thing as the first 3 movies.
Actually, it's gonna depend because I don't know. I
wouldn't be surprised.
I would
like,
not be surprised either, but at the same time, I don't know.
Here's the thing I want. I want Rey to go to the dark side and Kylo to come to the light side.
That would be an interesting change. I think that could be
weird.
That'd be really cool of a story where like she falls to darkness, and in her fall to darkness, he realizes how cruel how disgusting he is, and turns to the light.
That would be a neat twist.
That would be the plot twist of the century.
That would.
I'd be like, they will be writing about this for for centuries to come.
I would think so too. Yeah, like if that was the thing, then oh man, can't wait.
That looks like that's the way it might be because of how that trailer was done. Like where Rey's being held up and being like fucking stretched or whatever by fucking.
Oh, not stretched, being mind controlled.
No, it wasn't even being mind controlled.
Yeah, it is. It was totally levitating off the ground and being mind controlled.
No,
bullshit.
she was being like it was tortured.
No. Well, it's tortured, yeah, but it's not stretched.
Yeah, she was being tied to a chair. Anyways, let's sync in 3, 2, 1.